Harley Quinn Season One is the first season of the Harley Quinn animated series. It's like a DC Universe original. I did not have very high expectations going into this show. The library had Season One, decided to borrow it. This show is absolutely fantastic. It completely blew my expectations out of the water. It is a very manic, tonally different beast. It's completely different and original. It's its own thing. So if you're unfamiliar, Harley Quinn is the sidekick of the Joker. She is his love interest, and over time, different comic series have painted their relationship as abusive. So finally, she decides to break away from this relationship of always being under his thumb, being used for his purposes, being used as a punching bag for Batman. That way, Joker can escape. So she decides to splinter off, make a name for herself, get her own crew, get notoriety and infamy. So let's start with the cons. The first few episodes have some pretty dodgy animation, not gonna lie. But the pilot made me laugh really hard. There's some really great, we're supposed to talk about cons. Sorry, cons, okay. Dodgy animation for the first couple episodes, but then it improves over time. And the other con would be that since this show is its own universe, its own thing, it has its own version of certain characters. So Harley Quinn's there, you got Joker. Sometimes characters are they're like the Harley Quinnized version. What I mean is that, for example, if you're unfamiliar with Bane, Bane is a Mexican crime lord who uses the chemical venom to enhance his body in order to become super strong. He's also very cunning, intelligent, he's smart. He broke the Batman's back. He's, played brilliantly by Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises. In this show, he's a dullard. He's kind of like a weirdo, because, this version of Bane is a weirdo. So if you're a really big fan of certain characters of DC lore, you might get irked by the sort of, dumbed down version in the story, but a lot of other characters are played differently as well. Clayface, he is a sort of hammy, super thespian wannabe. Anytime they need him to do a decoy or anything, he goes, "Oh, I can't wait to, get into character. I can't wait to, relish this role for the acting theater." He's like that, and I really like that. Clayface is hilarious. So, if you don't like the way a certain character is portrayed, you might not like that. But that's a small gripe. Let's go to the pros. The tone and humor is absolutely hilarious. The joke writing is really great. Reminds me of some of the dark humor from Rick and Morty. I also really liked the writing for the character development. It's not just a sort of, let's just have DC characters do their own thing. Harley Quinn's a real character, a lot of development over time. They start her off as a sidekick of the Joker, and she slowly becomes more independent, gets new friends, things like that. There's also some really great writing for Poison Ivy as well, her only friend really. And the series does a really good job developing character over time. And it's also very madcap. The tone of the series is very manic and turned up to 11. So it's also a little bit violent. The show is full of swearing and violence. I felt tried a little too hard, but I think the series' best strength is the animation improves over time. So during the acrobatic fight scenes or the things like that, it improves. Also, I liked how DC it is. It's like a very DC show. There's going to be a lot of Easter eggs and but also it's a very accessible show as well. And it's a show that if you've never picked up a comic book, you can still enjoy, still make you laugh. For me, it made me laugh so hard. I honestly laughed. I'm not saying that I'm some sort of stone-faced person that only laughs at classics, but I usually don't laugh very loudly. I usually chuckle, and this series made me laugh really hard. So it's really great, really good voice acting. Animation improves later on, great character development, great jokes, and so I definitely recommend Harley Quinn Season 1. I'm waiting for Season 2 from the library as we speak, and they are making Season 3, so definitely check it out if you're in the mood for something a little bit violent, a little bit crass, but also well written. So that's what my thoughts on Harley Quinn Season 1.